So if you now remove away this generational buck passing and this sort of quite colonial approach to passing on taking up the carbon budget of other parts of the world, what would the UK's fair contribution to Paris start to look like? Now, to really understand that and go through it in some sort of depth, we have to go through all the science and the maths of climate change. But we haven't got time to do all of that today. So instead of that, we're going to think of it in terms of pies. So it's all about pies, which us Northern Mancunians quite like. And you can sort of think about the carbon budget as a carbon pie. So we've got this big pie, 660 billion tons of it there or thereabouts. And we've got to divide that pie amongst every country in the world. Not an insignificant political challenge. So what we've done in a paper, which I'll give a reference to at the end, is we've looked at how you do split that up between the developing and the developed country parties, as they're called in Paris. And we've used a range of ways of doing this. You can do it on population, historical emissions, size of your economy. There's a whole set of ways you can split the pie up. And you don't get a single slice, you get a range of sizes of your slice, if you like. And we've asked then, well, of the emissions for the wealthy parts of the world, how much should the UK get? And again, there you use a range of ways you split that pie up to say, what should the UK's bit look like? And to cut away all the maths and assumptions behind this, you roughly get a range that looks something like 2.8 to 3.7 billion tons. Again, there or thereabouts. That's the total amount of CO2 that in the UK we can dump in the atmosphere, including aviation and shipping, but excluding imports and exports. Now, that probably means very little to most of you, but that is 9 years of current emissions. 9 years. So 9 years from now, at the current emission rate, we will have blown through our carbon budget, our fair contribution to 2 degrees C warming. And bear in mind that 2 degrees C is not a safe threshold. Lots of people will die. They'll be poor, they'll typically be black, and they'll be living a long way from here. And they will have had almost no part of the problem. And we've known that for years. But to be brutally honest, we have not cared. Hence, our emissions just keep going up.